Welcome back to Learn BC. You're here with Jared. We're in the Finance 101 series, Fixed Assets, SOP-10, the last in our series, and we're talking about period end, fixed asset reporting and reconciliation. So, right, before we get into it, what's the trigger? What are the preconditions and the key principles? Then we work through the step-by-step actions, the exceptions, and the post-conditions. Now, before we get into it, please like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, forward this video to your colleagues if you find it useful, and email us at how@learnbc.today if you want to talk to our team and how we can help you. If you want us to do a demo, if you want help fixing something, or you would like more video content, give us feedback. Let's get started. Here we are in the period end, and the trigger here is financial period, month end or year end is closing, and fixed asset subledger will be reconciled to the general ledger to ensure the accurate financial reporting. So that's pretty straightforward. The preconditions: all fixed asset acquisitions, disposals, maintenance for the period are posted, okay? Which pretty much means clear your journals, make sure your posted documents are posted, and we should be good. So depreciation for the period is calculated. Well, we're going to make sure it's calculated because we're going to run it. No unposted fixed asset journals remain for the period. The key principles is the subledger versus the GL. So the total value of assets in the fixed asset ledger must exactly match. Now, Business Central has some great reconciliation reports that at the moment in this season, and we're in 2026, it's April 2026, and version 28 of Business Central has just been released. There is no fixed asset GL reconciliation report in BC that makes it super easy. There's lots of reports that confirms an asset's actions on the fixed asset ledger relate to the general ledger, but the reality is you're going to have to go and run the trial balance or the balance sheet, check your asset value at month end, and check the fixed asset ledger. So the second thing here is the fixed asset general ledger journal. All the fixed asset transactions that affected GL, acquisition, depreciation, or disposal must be posted through the fixed asset journal or a purchase sales document. Otherwise, you'll lose that link to the general ledger. And period locking. So once reconciled, use the allow posting from to date in the general ledger setup. All right. So critical warning: never post manual general ledger journals directly to the fixed asset control accounts, e.g. fixed asset costs, accumulated depreciation. Always use the fixed asset GL journal to ensure that the subledger remains in balance, and that way we just keep it nice and simple. And remember that direct posting flag in Business Central. Well, the process here is straightforward. Ensure all of your fixed asset transactions are posted. So verify that all acquisitions, disposals, reclassifications, and maintenance entries for the period have been fully posted. Number two, run the calculate depreciation. We've done that many times through this series, so I'm going to do it one last time. We want to post the depreciation in the journal. So you just open up the fixed asset general ledger journal and post what's created from the depreciation wizard. And then from here, we want to run a book value report. So you can actually search fixed asset book value. You can filter that based on what's budget or what is actually for a non-budget item. You can filter it based on your location or your asset type. So there's a lot you can do there. You really need, this is the manual step. You need to go reconcile by printing off your trial balance or your balance sheet and checking for that period and making sure that the two match. And then locking out the periods, you just continue with the financial lockout dates through the general ledger setup or the user setup. All right. So exceptions here: general ledger and fixed assets don't balance, investigate manual journals posted directly to the fixed asset general ledger accounts without using the proper journal. And reverse these entries. If you can't reverse, you cancel them, and it has the similar effect. For For example, if it's you're trying to reverse an entry, but it never actually created a general ledger entry, what you do is you cancel it in the fixed asset subledger, and it will create a posting in the fixed asset journal directly to the subledger to correct it. Depreciation not posted for all assets. Well, you need to do that as part of the steps, so we'll go do that. And unposted fixed asset journals remain before locking the period. Ensure the fixed asset general ledger journals, fixed asset journals, and insurance journals are fully posted or deleted, which are no longer required. And the fixed asset ledger perfectly balances. So this is our post condition. Perfectly balances with the general ledger. All depreciation for the period is calculated and posted. The period and fixed asset reports are generated and saved for audit. The financial report, financial period is locked, preventing further postings. Let's go take a look in Business Central, and I'll step you through each of these points in the SOP here today. Step one for us is ensure that all transactions are posted. So if you're going to your fixed asset general ledger journals, you'd be checking your ledgers. If you've got multiple batches, you'd be checking through each of the batches to make sure that they're all closed. And you'd also go to the fixed asset journal. Yep. And that has an entry on it. So I'm gonna delete this. There we go, cleared that up. So we've got general ledger journals and we've got fixed asset journals. Both of them are cleared, and the fixed asset insurance journals, and there's nothing on that as well. So step one, ensure they're posted or cleared out. Second thing we're gonna do is calculate, and we're gonna calculate depreciation. I don't want to be depressed. And we're gonna run it for the 1st of the 6th, 24. 30th of the 6th, end of that period. And I'm going to run it for all assets in the ledger and just hit OK. And as we do that, it's going to pop open and say, hey, clearly I've run it already. Calculate depreciation to the all right, here we go. Let's try this again. All right, we've got an entry that's been entered, and we can see here depreciation is being entered for that period. Okay, and there's the other side of the account instead of running the balancing. So I'm gonna just post that for that period and just get it out of the way. It's done. So we've posted depreciation and taken it up. Now I think I took up 3 or 4 months at once there. So technically speaking, you would take it up 1 month at a time, but I was just trying to be mindful of time in this video. So step 3 is post the depreciation journal. Step 4 for us is run the fixed asset book value. So we're going the 1st of the 12th, 24, or 31st of the 12th, 24. And you should be able to, I like to print per fixed asset. So what it's going to do is give us a line. And so you can see here in that time, we've got a MacBook at this stage as an active asset. We don't have anything else really in this particular company because I spun up a new company. And so what we're looking at here for this, there's no other filters there. If I was to actually confirm that balance for that particular period, I would be looking and printing this off. There's a bunch of reports that you can run within your fixed assets. So remember, all of your reports are available primarily and then secondarily in your extended reporting menu. And there's a bunch here. For example, the GL analysis, there's analysis Excel, which is actually pretty cool. So Microsoft replacing these details Excel. They're all really great reports and they really work well. I guess the key thing here is when you're looking at running an entry. If I go back to this book to the 31st, 12th, 24, and I go run this. All right, and I've got a few assets here now. So you can see, you can't really tell of this report that it's actually got the entries from it are on the general ledger. So if I went in the fixed asset here, report, and I'm looking for reports. I was using details before. We'll just run that. And so here I can see that there's a general ledger entry that applies to this particular entry matching the asset ledger. So I should be able to use a GL report like this, utilize the details to turn around and confirm and look for what I'm primarily interested in. That's a simple report. There's only 2 assets there, so you should be able to do this with on the back of a paper envelope. But the reality is that many clients will have 5,000 assets, and you've got to find your way to do this. So there's the that's what I would do. Effectively, I'd be looking at your trial balance, you're confirming, find the report that works for you, that tells you the data that you want, remembering that they're all customizable. And a lot of these reports, for example, if I go into the fixed asset list just here, this is an RDLC report. So you can download that, modify it, set filters to it, and go your hardest with each of those reports. So the next step for us, if we're reconciled and we're happy with our balances, I guess the key thing here is changing out the periods. It's the same thing we talked about before with the general ledger setup, and either locking out your dates here as part of your end of month, or using your user setup fields. So in my user setup here, you'll see that I have, let's just put me here. I have 2 employees here, and I have these dates here, and we've talked about that. It's part of our chart of accounts series and lockout. So, well, we thank you for watching this series. It's been eventful. I can tell you what, I'd love to develop some fixed asset reports for the community. I'd love to have a reconciliation tool like what we used with the inventory reconciliation tool. So if you're keen to see something like that, and you can give us comments on this video saying, yep, please, that would be great. We might actually go ahead and do that for the community. Anyway, I'll see you in the next series.